off, keep the hustle moving. Wanna see you be what you want it to be, prove it. I know I sound crazy to the ones who said all. I know I empower those who dream like me. I know I sound crazy to the ones who said all. I know I empower those who dream like me. And you say you wanna be somebody.
Let's take our time right now, it's just a vibe with you. I feel alive, now I'm feeling like up to the fine, will it stand the test of time right now? I need a sign. Tell me if it's over, come a little closer. We should take our time to think this damn thing over. Should we grow closer, should this be over? No heart for your mind, probably we should start over.
Not the result Team Trust were expecting with their Alchemist draft, but luckily enough here for Adroit, they're going to send this to a Game 3. Neither of these teams wants to lose a third series for ESL 1 Thailand. Both these teams are looking for the victory, and Game 3 will decide it all. My boys back here on the panel, Daniel, Kyo. Now that's a little bit better there from Adroit.
It was, but it was some serious draft arrogance coming out from Team Trust. You can't just continue with the strat that you started out with when you've got that AA pick. Or you can't go a kind of strat like that without banning out the AA, more importantly.
Yeah, I mean, like, Alchemist against TVAA, like, could have worked it, I think, because of the first game performance, but it's still, like, draft matters a lot in Dota. And
there was a period of time where the Alchemist, he did have an alright amount of farm. Like, even though overall the team was only like 1-2k net worth ahead, he was about 3,000 or 4,000 ahead at the 15 or so minute mark. But they never transitioned that into anything. He finished up 1-3 and 8, I think.
Like this fight, like 16k Alchemist, you know, like started with like full HP. Terrorblade has like 400, 500 HP, and then Alchemist died.
Yeah.
Like, well, how do we say, like, yeah, I have nothing to say about this sort of moments.
I thought that there was some much better team play coming out from Adroit that time around. You can see there their spell casting in team fights is much better. The thing I really liked from Bensoy especially was he was aggressive. He's not this Venomancer that's like moving around the map, slowly pushing in. He went this hyper-aggressive build. We saw an Aghanim Scepter. We saw a Yasha and Kaya coming out for him. So he did still have that movement speed, but he could actually make stuff happen in these team fights. And even there on Boomy, he was playing the Rubik and he got some solid steals off in that fight, even taking the Hand of God a couple of times and making sure that TB stayed and was able to keep fighting.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing is they gave MCY like quite a lot of space, right? He ended up that game at the top of the net worth, which is obviously against an Alchemist. You need to make sure that the Arc is at least, you know, a couple items ahead of the enemy carry, and this Terrorblade was almost catching up to him to the entirety of that game, and that's where Adroit was able to turn it around. And obviously Benso was playing extremely well in that Queen of Pain in the offlane, just being able to create the space they needed for the Terrorblade. And I don't know, we called it arrogance from Team Trust. Maybe they were just like, okay, we've got a game lead here, let's just try and play our strat and see if it works out. And obviously it didn't. So.
Yeah, I think that time around as well, you had Mac playing the Necro on the mid lane, right? And you're going up against a Kunkka. That's always going to be a nice lane. Poglet talked about it in the actual game itself, where you're able to out-sustain, which is really one of Kunkka's main strengths. You know, you can obviously just X yourself, TP back to base, heal up, come back, but Necro is always just going to have a good time with that because of the regen that he gets from killing things and the death pulse as well. But on top of that, they went this style where in game 1, he went the Doom. He used it and didn't always get the kill, even if he committed his ultimate, and a couple of times it got reflected onto him. But because of how aggressive and how early focused Team Trust's lineup was that time, you could afford to use the Reaper Scythe on the Chen, which I think he caught 3 times. Chen died 10 times that game. And when they don't have this early push, that early potential to take objectives, suddenly Team Trust's draft falls apart and they're able to come back into it with the Terrorblade.
Yeah, they just had to keep up their pace with like going into the towers after they secured the Roche. But there was a lot of separation happen, and like I think Adroit caught it really well with smoking with Mac and just going into their jungle and kill 1 or 2 supports. They just can't push. So same as that, the motivate trust that lifestealer game.
Yeah. It feels like it was a draft that is both outdated and stubborn, you know? Like, the Death Ball meta doesn't really exist anymore, especially now that they've nerfed a lot of these aura push items, even the drums, like, as much as today. And also, you've got this draft where they were so stubborn that they still wanted to do this despite having AA still in the pool. So props to Adroit for realizing that, hey, well, they're clearly just instant picking what they want. So let's just put the thing that's going to be best against that.
Yeah, it was good to see that they were fixing the way that they played here for Adroit. They decided to play a little bit more aggressive. They obviously their team fights were a lot better in this second game. I think maybe Team Trust. I don't want to call them out for being a little bit too outdated and over arrogant or something like that. It was a strat. They wanted to play their own style, and obviously they just didn't ban out the Ancient Apparition. Maybe it's a hero for them that they were going, we've got a lot of heroes that if they get hit by this Ice Blast, then, maybe only 1 or 2 of us gets hit by the Ice Blast, and we can continue the fight around that. But obviously, Ancient Apparition was playing extremely well on CML there. He was able to get quite a few of those big Ice Blasts going there. But I wanted to talk about us, moving forward here for this Game 3. Do you think the Team Trust are going to go for one of those... what's the word I'm looking for? Like a predetermined draft they want to go into a game. Or do you think they're going to go back to more reactive drafting?
I feel like that was their attempt to do something that's a little bit different from what they always pick. Because Adroit correctly identified, the main heroes that they like to play, and they banned them out super early on. So they were forced to try something a little bit different. And this is, I suppose, the easiest strat to do that with. Just full up, group, death ball. But that's not the... Like, even though those are the heroes that enable you to do that, they didn't play the style that supported that. And so there's some inexperience in there, but there's also, I would have to say, a shallow hero pool coming out from Team Trust here.
Yeah, I agree with that, what just Anok said.
All right, well, with that analysis done and dusted, we're going to go to a very short break. But on the other side of this, we have Game 3 between Team Trust and Adroit. Loser of this, probably going to be out of the groups. Winner of this still has a chance for ESL 1 Thailand. We'll see you after this.
Intel Gamer Days is on now. Whether you're looking to buy or build, now is a great time to upgrade. Get limited time offers and giveaways from top names in PC gaming. Unleash elite gaming performance with systems featuring new 10th gen Intel Core processors, and bring Marvel's Avengers to life with in-game optimizations for a mightier PC experience. Act now. Intel Gamer Days is only here for a limited time.
These feelings are waiting for you to come back. Amazing feelings are waiting for you to explore again once the world is ready. Until we meet again. Amazing Thailand.
Start your esports career now at play.eslgaming.com.
Multiple witnesses have reported mysterious shadow sightings all around the city. According to experts, the origin of these shadows is still unclear.
Everybody loves an underdog. Who needs to be liked?
Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel. Victory in a can.
ESL 1 Thailand is brought to you in part by Intel, Mercedes-Benz, Mountain Dew Game Fuel, DHL, Ministry of Tourism and Sports of Thailand, and Sports Authority of Thailand.
It all comes down to this, the final game between Team Trust and Adroit. Winner of this goes 1 and 2 in the groups. Loser of this goes 0 and 3. It is basically out of their group stages. Neither one of these teams wants to lose this series. Both teams want to have that playoffs berth. My boys back here on the panel. Dan or QO, welcome back. Game 3 is just around the corner, boys, and this is going down to the wire.
It is, and Man, what sort of... I don't think you can take any sort of mentality out of those first two games, right? It just felt like the first game was played a little bit like a pub, I'll be honest. And game number 2, there was a lot more cohesion coming through from Adroit. But I feel like Team Trust can fix up their draft a little bit and still have a fighting chance in game 3.
Yeah, like, I mean, the game 2 was just purely drafting mistakes. If the Trust like draft properly, I feel like this game gonna be 50-50, you know? So now we just have to choose who drafts better.
Do you think that the team play has like kind of scrubbed up a little bit for you, QO, going into that second game for Adroit? Obviously, Team Trust were making less mistakes as well. Do you think both these teams are starting to warm up for today and start to get to that team cohesion position that we're expecting them coming in this first series?
I mean, could be, but like, not just like warm up, but Adroit tends to have very shaky game when they play this anti-mage or like Arc Warden, something that farms a lot, but that can easily die. But as long as they secure MCY with like some obvious heroes, it's like Sven or TB,
Something that has some survivability.
Something that has a survivability and something that just immediately like the net worth is just proven, It's like some hero that just immediately affects with the net worth. Then it's okay. But I've seen so many games of him having high net worth, but it didn't show in the game.
Yeah, I think that's probably the downside for picking those style of heroes. I don't want to see him go something like, I don't know, a Drow Ranger or a Gyrocopter or these sorts of things. You've got to go those heroes with the inbuilt survivability. You talk about the TB, he's obviously got the Sunder, he's got good base stats. AM, yeah, he's got Blink, but I feel like he can be caught out a little bit too often with that. And, you mentioned Sven, obviously, very big, beefy boy, Warcry, all the things of that nature. I feel like that's going to suit him the best. Maybe even the PL could make an appearance this time.
What about the Spectre? Do we think that Adroit are going to start to move their way into the same carries that we've seen from these other teams? Spectres, Voids. Do we think we're going to be seeing a little bit more from them?
Maybe not so much the Void. I feel like they might have felt that he took a little bit too much of a hit in the most recent nerfs that came through. Having reduced time lock bash damage is pretty significant, I would feel, especially with the style of build that people are going lately, or maybe they'll try and innovate a new build as well.
I just want to see him like just play like more PL or something that once he gets 10k net worth, he can do that 10k net worth like amount of
He can
work.
like 1v5 with like 10k net worth.
Yeah, and it's the sort of hero where sure you don't want to go up against a Venomancer as a PL, but it's not horrible, especially if you're now going that Plague Ward maxing build, because with it giving a bit of an extra bounty, same sort of thing when you're going up against a Shadow Shaman and things of that nature. You win a team fight, or even if you get a pick-off, you clean them all up, and that's a ton of free gold for yourself.
Yeah. And not just MCY though. Like, I think Bensoy in like first game and second game played like completely differently. Like second game, he was so aggressive. He was connected with like a lot of heroes from the Adroit. But first game, he was just the sacrificial lamb, just pushing in the lane and feed, pushing in the lane and feed.
Yeah.
So I want them to have more confidence within their teamwork, because I do feel like Adroit is better team in my analysis. Yep.
I feel that as well. I feel like maybe he's trying to emulate the style that Cuckoo goes. I feel like he goes those heroes where you can outplay, your Queen of Pain, your Void Spirit. We've seen him pick up the Venomancer in that as well, but I think the thing that separates someone like Bensoy from Cuckoo is Cuckoo knows how far he can extend without feeding, and he builds the right items to make sure that he's going to not only enable himself to have a dominant early game and mid game, but enable the rest of his team.
So we're more looking towards Bensoy to try and have a little bit more of a better performance coming in for Adroit to make sure that he can put the pressure across the map and put a little bit more pressure on these carries.
Yeah.
But they need to use their spaces really well. Like Geek Fam, when we see it, all the cores are farmed, but they're using the maps like some hero farm here, some hero farm here. Like all these are allocated. But when Adroit is behind, only like 1 or 2 cores are just farming great, and other cores like doesn't really know like what they want to do.
Yeah, it's fine if the other core is going with the supports to try and gank and make space for the other two. That's totally cool. The thing I think, again, the difference between your Adroits and your Geek Fams is that they're not static either. When these this farming is happening, you're not always just sticking, someone just in the one spot. Like Abed doesn't just stay in the tri-camp area. He moves around a little bit. He makes himself not so predictable. So we'll see if they can improve a little bit on that. It was certainly a lot better in game number 2.
Well, Chen Rubik opening here from Team Trust. It looks like they're going to fall back on their same old, same old. They don't have the Tide Hunter this time around, which is one of their staples as well. So I'm looking to see if UU will pick up something a little different. Seen his Conqueror a few times as well. Looks quite strong in that offlane.
And again, not choosing to go with the mags. So clearly they just don't have any sort of faith in their own ability to play that one. And I think this is the first time that the Tide Hunters actually made it through past the first phase and they don't pick it up. Like going into this, except for the Rubik, that was like their hero. They always picked the Tide Hunter. So something a little bit surprising, but clearly giving UU the faith that he's going to be able to do something. He was great on that Timbersaw in game 1.
Yeah. I was surprised. Like, in which team, like, who opens with Tide Hunter first 2 picks?
Nobody besides Team Trust.
I mean, it could be their confidence card, but that doesn't mean that hero is just good to pick it up in first 2 pick. Like, it has a significant weakness, and like it can get counter in lane. Like, if they have like not a team fight potential, like a team fight heroes, they can just always split the maps. Like, there are so many ways to deal with it. So, I mean, I would like to see more like trust going on in the Trust team. Yeah. Trust in a Trust team.
I feel like that we've already hit the double digits counter for the amount of times that we've used Trust in this team for Motivate Trust, not just Team Trust. So, boys, I think you guys might have to find a new line very, very soon. But if the Trust does come out here for Team Trust, then I feel like they can need a little bit more team cohesion. They can definitely bring this third game in their favor.
Yeah, and this is most likely going to be a Qingfeng Rubik coming out here. It is their most played hero on Team Trust. They never ban it. They always want it to be available as a comfort pick for them. But again, I've never really seen it style on the enemy team like a few other of these players when they play it. You know, even in game 2, Boomy, he played a very good Rubik. I would say that's better than any sort of Rubik that I've seen Qingfeng play. You know, some great steals. He stole Toss a few times. He stole Chen Ultimate a few times, which was fantastic. He ended up buying a mech as well. So I just feel like his itemization isn't quite as simple. And we're seeing another one of my boy Io. He's coming
Io
out.
Tiny? Koi, I'm sure you remember that strat.
Not a big fan.
Elemental Adventure. Let's go.
Little
I think
homies.
after that nerf with the tree, I mean the Tiny can only hit the 5 times with his tree grab.
Yeah. It doesn't work quite so
Yeah.
much, yeah.
And they picked up Terrorblade.
Do you think this is a carry IO? I think there's the potential.
Yeah, we have to see.
Especially with Avenge, right? You're buffing him up a little bit. You probably can't go... Well, you might want to go a ranged... another ranged carry here on Adroit.
Luna.
Io Luna.
I think that's a really strong strat. You know, obviously you can have that as that position 5, run around a little bit. The Venge buffs quite a lot. The Ags Luna strat is really, really strong. All right, they're just going to go for something a little different. Another one of those IO partners in the gyrocopter.
I think it's totally fine. You're able to deal with the TB illusions reasonably well. It hits all the Chen creeps as, too on top of that. You're buffed up with the extra range coming from the Venge, so it's some decent cohesion coming out of Adroit so far.
Yeah. I have a feeling that it's going to be IO 1 and Gyro 2, right? And then they're just going to pick offlane here.
Yeah, I agree. Something that
Or it could be Mac Venge Full Spirit mid, you know? They have a lot of different options.
True.
We've seen that before.
I think we've seen Bensoy play offlane Venge a couple of times as well.
Okay.
So that is pretty effective to have. They, of course, do need to be mindful of who this, where this Batrider is going to be laning. You know, it's not guaranteed to be that position 3. They could very easily just run it mid, so you can't just play something that's going to be food into it.
Yeah. But more important than just the laning, I think Trust needs to have one more hero that can actually go in with the Batrider, especially when you're versing against Venge, Tiny, Gyro. Like, even if he has 3,000 like HP, I don't think he can survive.
You also got to keep in mind the fact that the Venge swap is always good against the Lasso as well. So you've always got that save coming in there. The IO relocate is always save as well on top of that. So a little bit more damage to follow up from this Lasso straight away.
So when you say someone that can go in, we can see the Queen of Pain's gone, the Ember Spirit's gone. Are you thinking a Void or a Storm Spirit or something like that?
That's one viable option. Or you can. I think putting Bat mid is more realistic, and have some Rubik plus Centaur.
Yeah.
Centaur has been like pretty hot, I think.
Mars got a bit of a buff, and we know that the Chinese teams really like to play it.
Yep.
So
And it's a Rubik Centaur.
especially against range, right? Like
Yeah.
Mars is fantastic against range because you can't attack into
Mars
it.
is good too.
But we're getting rid of an Invoker, so they're just wanting to get rid of that that easy setup for
Yeah.
lots of.
I actually want to see
counter
Mars here, like against Venge and Tiny. It's good, and IO Gyro. If it's gonna be like a pulse 1 and pulse 2, like one of them are not gonna do any damage because they have to position themselves well. They're range cores anyways.
They have to
so-
be within the wall, basically. Yeah.
You can also set up the Arena of Blood on the relocate as well, right? So you have that few seconds where you know where the relocate's going to come in. You can always set up with the spear in the wall.
Yep.
Yeah, I really want to see a Mars come out here for Team Trust.
What about for Adroit then, boys? Where we looking for these guys? What do they need?
I want one more heal from Adroit. One, because Venge swap isn't enough. Maybe it's like something like Omni Knight or
LC. I like LC into this. It gives you
LC?
double save against the Bat Rider.
Yep.
It gives you a purge. You get a lot of damage from your overwhelming odds with all the Chen creeps as well, and the illusions. Puck, huh? On Team
Puck.
Trust.
Okay, so X-Puck, I'd imagine. He played a
He
pretty
was
good
playing
puck.
really well, yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember.
That was probably the best individual play I would say we've
Yep.
seen from anyone on Team Trust throughout this entire tournament. So this is the kind of game that you want to bring it out, that's for sure.
Yeah, why not? Like, I have a feeling it's gonna be IO or Gyro mid, and Puck's gonna do well against both of their heroes.
Yeah. So
Awesome gives them a nice little combo with the Terrorblade Ags and the Puck Dream Coil Snap. It's always nice to have. But Adroit now, you guys are saying, QO, you wanted a little bit more save coming in from Adroit. LC comes to mind. A few other heroes. I wouldn't mind the Omni Knight. Gives them the GA up against the Terrorblade, which is always nice.
But against a Bat Rider and Puck, I think better to have one more offensive potential. But it's like team's decision. Like it can be offensive, it can be defensive.
Yeah.
And LC.
yeah, LC is the right hero for my mind because you're not just following in someone where you put up the Heavenly Grace onto someone and like it's not like a Spectre, it's not like an Ursa or a Lifestealer that you just want to buff up and enable him as much as you can.
Yep.
It's also about doing that yourself. So I think LC is the right way to go. Oh,
CML IO, by the way.
Okay.
As we see these picks are starting to roll through on our screen in front of us.
So MCY Gyro.
So I think they're tossing up
So it's
who's
a
going to go
mid-tiny.
mid.
Could be mid tiny.
Could be mid-tiny. All right, boys, before we start heading into this third game.
mid-venge.
So it looks
Mid
like Mac
Venge.
will be playing the Venge. Boys, where are we sitting here after seeing those picks?
I'm letting you do it first this time.
I'll just go Adroit.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
All right, so both my panelists are going to go with Adroit. I'm going to have to go with Adroit again because this IO seems to be doing quite a lot of work here for ESL 1 Thailand. But we are starting to head into Game 3 here between Team Trust and Adroit. Our casters for this will be the mixed lighting presentation as well as Polgot bringing you guys all the action for this third game of our first series.
Clash of steel spills your blood. A whisper doubt fills your head, but you have to fight again. So take one step, take another. Find the strength for your brothers. Erase the doubt with your battle cry. With your battle cry. You feel the earth move to the drum of steel boots. Banish the fear inside. You're strong enough that you don't have
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We are here for game number 3 between the side of Team Trust and, of course, the side of Adroit. It is MLP, Dota, and Poglet. 2 new drafts, sir. How are you feeling about them?
I think they're much better. I think Game 2 was very clear-cut who had the better draft. Game 3, they've actually both decided to draft properly. I think it's the best way I can say. There's no clown picks here. I am a bit curious how they're going to play the Io Gyrocopter lane, but that's one for the ages, right? We've seen this combination for 3-4 years. It's super stock standard. Everyone knows what it's about. And on the other side, you have TB, you have Puck, and you have Batrider as the cause. And we talked about it. X's Puck is incredibly good. Analysts talked it up, and I think they might have casted cursed him, but I hope he plays a good game here.
We had a great game number 1. Of course, game number 2 was a little bit rough on him on that conquer, but the X-Puck, we've seen it once, or at least I have, and I was quite impressed. See if he can replicate the performance he had last time around. Of course, Adroit, this Io Gyro, we're looking to make a lot of work happen. And there were talks about this potentially being a core Io, but that's not the case. CML has taken the support Io, of course, be with MCY.
Yeah, I was curious to see. I believe DreamerCell was playing Core IO previously. It would have been yesterday, actually, maybe the day before. And it looked quite solid. Obviously, we've seen it being played by the likes of Anna.
I mean, that was
Aussie
Anna.
boy, yeah. But like, that's a different beast because he made the hero get nerfed single-handedly.
Yeah.
So, in its place right now, I think as a support, it's completely fine. Obviously, Gyrocopter is going to have to do a lot of work coming from this aggressive offlane that they're doing with the carry. So it'll be interesting to see how they play because I believe they sent Bensway top to lane against the Batrider, and Team Trust have kind of pranked them here.
It's not very nice of them. Ben Soy's going to have to make a run back down towards that bot lane.
Oh, look what's happening. They're actually both switching lanes. MCY going top, but you almost on cue is following him up.
I've seen this happen for like 10 minutes before when I've casted. They will literally run up and down towards the top bot lane over and over again if it takes, until one of them gives up. It's gotten to the point, it's gotten so bad that both teams will start jungling at some point if that's what it takes to not lose this this laning war. And of course XMP, he'll happily take the XP and gold while he's here. Ben Soy will show up, and XMP will probably go on a run very, very soon. In fact, never mind. He'll bring the Terrorblade here. Shifu will get back to farming.
They might get a kill for this, but the trade is quite positive, obviously, towards Team Trust because they actually have that Chen recall. They might be able to lose their Rubik here, though.
Yeah, Xingfang is in trouble, but no. Yu will block the Wayne, so will the creeps, so Boomy is unable to chase him down. Still a very strong trial in here from Adroit with this this Gyrocopter IO and the Tiny. You've got to be very, very cautious about how close you get. It really only takes a simple toss back to the Gyrocopter for a Rocket Barrage, which really could allow them to get these kills in this laning phase.
Yeah, definitely. And it was a level 2 Tiny as well. We're going to see Boomy rotate, so we won't be able to see the tri lane for too much longer. But the lane we want to talk about more. I think we should be mentioning it's Mac playing Avenge mid.
Right.
I don't get to see mid Vengeful Spirit that often.
No.
And against a Puck no less who can dodge your stun, he can dodge your Wave of Terror like we almost just saw. I think it's quite an awkward lane matchup for him.
I was a bit confused when I saw it. But, top lane, homing missile, gonna land on the Rubik, but that'll be just it. It kind of makes you wonder though with that mid bench, what was the point of putting it mid up against that Puck? But
bot lane?
they're kind of stuck with it now. Bot lane is going to be where the first blood does happen. Boomy is able to pick it up, and well, that was your Pos 1 Terrorblade going down. It's not the way Team Trust want to get this game started.
Yeah, it's just a heads-up play from Boomy. He rotates with that extra level, like we said that he got in the solo lane while they were doing the musical chairs, we'll say. And he gets to kind of put it to Terrorblade without them realizing, and he gets this kill for free.
MCY lifted onto the cliff, but he just finds TP out, nothing else to cancel that TP on. Things going very well for X and Mac, by the way, in this mid lane. I've got to say, I really did think that Mac would be at a huge disadvantage, but in terms of CS, he is at least keeping up for now. Looks like neither hero is really dying or suffering too much damage. So bot lane, avalanche out from Boomy. Not going to lead to anything, just a casual avalanche.
And it is easy, obviously, Mac can use this Wave of Terror to get the creeps that he can't actually make it to. And he hits quite hard. Like, the 2 levels in Vengeance Aura is giving so much extra damage to you. Obviously, it gives bonus attributes and bonus range. So, you definitely can play the lane quite solidly. I just didn't think this was going to be the build. 0-2-2.
Why not? Bot lane, XMP ends up killing off Ben Soy. Ben was left alone there by Boomy. As the LC, you want to be able to solo that lane up against this Terrorblade Chen, but that'd be a bit hard on Boomy. Nice regen rune steal. X, he already committed that orb, so Mac should be able to secure a very, very simple kill here onto X, and it looks like they will. That's a huge deal for the side of Adroit.
Yeah, and Courier as well. And Boomy had the peace of mind to actually realize his Courier was coming in as well. So everything coming up for Adroit just there. And it makes this lane quite awkward because now he's going to have extra levels on Mac versus the Puck, which means he can get 6 quicker. So he can actually use these swaps aggressively with these tiny rotations and make this lane very hard for the Puck on X.
Boomy trying to mess around with XMP and get rid of that Harpy creep. The Chain Lightning has been a little bit frustrating for Adroit to deal with, but he could not quite finish it off, and he'll have to walk his way out with a bit more harass out from XMP. Bounty Rune's about to spawn at the 5-minute mark, but nobody really running towards them, apart from that bot lane, where Boomy will make it. Take them away, still top lane. Batrider will go for a Firefly. Yu trying to go onto MC. Why? The Rocket Barrage is going to be quite painful for him, and with that Wave of Terror, they had enough, in fact, another. They'll get the Rubik.
Yeah, a nice rotation coming out from the Vengeful Spirit. And it's not too heavy a trade because X actually came for the runes. They're going to go 2 towards X, but in the mid lane, Boomy getting his farm, so there's no real loss here for Team Adroit. And if he plays this badly, oh no, he's going to be fine.
Still, Adroit are just finding everything they could ask for off this map. Boomy going to hit that level 4 mark now. In fact, he's rushing towards X and gets a nice avalanche toss off, but he has the orb again. Mac was unable to lock him down, of course, doesn't have the stun yet. Tried for the swap, but was not in range for it.
Yeah, it'd be interesting, now that obviously Boomy's going to hang around, it'd be interesting to see if they actually get a pick here. And you can see, obviously, the fight for the action runes as well. I hate seeing supports have to do this, but it's just the way Dota is right now. That supports have to secure these action runes for the mid laner.
That they do. Especially when you've got a Puck in the mid lane who just loves taking those power runes away. Still, this time around it is going to be the Rubik who has had to take the invis. CML not going to realize he's right next to him. Now he will. Should be just fine. Doesn't look like they're going to really try and set up to kill off this Rubik, and he'll reveal himself anyway. But at least CML should have had vision of that Observer Ward going down.
I think so. I mean, looking at the vision, he definitely saw him if they were paying attention. That's the big if. Were they watching his infantry? We'll get to see in a minute, but bot lane, they're going to find a kill.
They might. The Terrorblade going to be in trouble down at that bot lane. No, he'll be fine. Boomy did commit the toss. Now XMP to come in, gives Boomy a bit of a zap on the backside and just leave him be.
God, do you remember when this Harpy Storm crafter used to have 400 mana?
Oh, I remember.
Oh, Dota. I miss the broken days sometimes.
I believe it was, I can't remember which pro it was that showed that off first, but I feel like it was Puppy who really showed how broken that creep was.
I think a few of them were doing Chen spamming, but Puppy is obviously one of the best Chens in the world.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was him that started it, but he was definitely the first round of pioneers, we'll say.
Yeah. Really starting to show our age here, Poglet, I gotta tell you. It's a long time ago.
I mean, I feel young watching these games still.
I don't.
Until I realize some of the players are like 16, 17, and 18. You're like, ah, man. What are we going to do with this?
That's some huge stacks out from CML. This is going to be great for their gyrocopter. Mid lane, Mac could be in danger. He has been creeped, but no, he'll be fine. He gets a nice swap off. They do miss the avalanche, but now they'll get the duel in time. Still Lasso is going to be out from our Batrider, but Mac is still alive, but he could not get the secondary swap off. now, Team Trust, they want to chase. After Ben Soy. They can't really slow him down or hold him down. Rest of Adroit, be fine to just back off, but they do lose that mid-bench.
Yeah, interesting play from Mac there. Obviously, he had the 21 challenge, so I'm surprised he didn't go for more, but they're going to look for the puck anyway.
You get the toss back, but X will be able to orb his way out just fine. And while all that's been happening, look down to that bot lane. Ben Soy, he's been on defense duty for this tier 1 tower, and well, MCY and CML, they've been clearing those stacks ASAP, and I think that's the right decision as well, considering they just kind of lost the team fight. You do get most of those stacks.
Got Boomy on the top lane though. He might get chased down here. They don't know Gyrocopter's on the high ground. And they just go back to farming jungle.
I mean, for Adroit, this seems like a good idea though, right? Like, you had so many stacks, you've got a gyrocopter, you just take all those stacks first, and now you might just start a team fight. You've got the level 6 there on your gyro. So MCY gonna Sean Sook now, going for a homing missile onto the Terrorblade. Shifu.
Awkward fight because, like you said, he is level 6 and he doesn't actually have the ultimate. He has cooldown on cooldown. He used to farm. And instead, they're going to have Mac jump on.
Green Coil is there onto Mac. Boomy for an avalanche toss. Does get the avalanche off and now the toss into X. But he will be safe. Or maybe not. Mac! The magic missile. No, the swap back is again. Well played by Mac on the bench. That'll be your mid puck going down. Everyone else from Trust are able to get themselves out of there.
Yeah, it's a solid play all around for Adroit. Obviously, these scrappy fights aren't great for anyone, but anytime you have to commit 5 on one side, 4 on the other, as Ben Soy is farming bot, it's a win.
under attack.
Still got TB farming very nicely in the jungle, has the drums up. Hasn't really queued anything else up yet, so we don't know what kind of item build he wants to go for this game. Meanwhile, Mac is apparently going for the Vladimir's offering, which is, I suppose, fairly standard on the bench. Something's just never changed.
Yeah, I mean, even as a core, you're not too worried about stats. Like, you can see he's quite tanky. He's got 21 armor. Tower, it'll drop down, obviously. But it's very hard to deal with him in these team fights because of the swaps, and once he dies, you have to deal with him again anyway, because he has that illusion. The illusion basically hits for max damage anyway, now that it's maxed on the Vengeance Aura. So, why not just build auras and die?
Good point. Just keep getting back to it. It seems like both teams are rather comfortable this game with just trying to secure their farm on these position 1s first before they go much further. It's going to give XMP some time to actually get some levels up on this Chen. Unlike last game where he was just having a real struggle. In fact, speaking of XMP, he's got 2 of those harpies now.
Ah, yes, 2 harpies. You know, to double down on being a nuisance. I can't complain, I actually play Chen. So, like, not much because I don't play much Dota right now in the last couple of days, but Chen is a hero that you bring out every so often just to annoy the opposition.
Oh, absolutely. Not an easy hero to play either. It's not like it's a one-button kind of hero.
They've made him much easier in recent patches. Like, every single patch makes it slightly easier for Chen when they start upgrading his Divine Favor into a passive and a massive cooldown recall. I mean, you have no one on your team complaining anymore. Hand of God's very simple, always has been. And just generally speaking, the fact that Centaur stuns are so good now, you just max them. You just like get 4 Centaurs,
Mid lane, Boomy, a great avalanche toss back, but a Dream Coil forced out from X, but it's gonna do nothing. He just didn't really have an escape plan after that. That'll mean Mac can start pressuring this mid-tier 1 tower a little bit.
Middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, they might be able to get a bit of chunk of damage, but they're going to go for the pick on Battle Rider instead.
Yu needs to be very cautious. He already has the Firefly going, but now the toss in onto Ben Soy. And of course, XMP going to get caught in the Chen. He also had relocate in from CML. He's probably just going to leave MCY there. And now they definitely should be able to secure this tier 1 mid tower.
You say leave him there, he TP'd about 700 units up. He was still in the mid lane.
Coming in to defend. Team Trust do not want to allow this to go down this early, and they won't. It's not like Adroit really have the fastest forms of pushing yet. All they can do is chip away and back off. Of course, the respawn times of Trust are so low at the moment. They're always going to have a chance to TP back in and defend that T1.
Yeah, and it just shows how crucial Tier 1's right now. Like 1500 health on the Dire side, and obviously like just about the same on Radiant. Like, no one wants to give up this mid tower. It's so crucial for Roshan. It's so crucial for map awareness and map superiority. And you can see like they're committing everything to make sure they can get these towers.
Yeah. I mean, the Tier 1 mid tower opens up the map for you quite well. Essentially get access to 2 jungles. And they're going to go for it. Adroit, are you going to try and stop this? X, he'll initiate the team fight with the Dream Call. Now the drums have been popped. They want Mac on that Venge, and they will take him very, very easily. And that's now a guaranteed Tier 1 mid tower.
It's awkward what Mac's doing though. Like, so he dies here, right? He's down for 30 seconds. His illusion's just AFK in front of the tower.
Can't do that.
That's free farm. That's literally, you could be farming towers, creeps, anything. Just something. He's got the Vlads too. It's not like the illusion can't keep itself alive. It's got quite a bit of armor, a bit of damage. He did disconnect though.
Yeah. I mean, he did. That's probably why.
I was roasting a man that's disconnected, and I stand by that. Did he die because he disconnected? Probably not. But
I gotta tell you, Venge is like... I know people were saying the Quap Arcana makes Venge and Quap look too similar, but Venge also has like oh my goodness, that is disgusting. Gyrocopter.
Man, what's wrong with the Gyrocopter?
I mean, look at him.
The pirate.
He's got a drinking problem. You can tell.
Oh, I thought this was meant to be a PG stream, but we're just straight throwing Gyrocopter right under that bus.
Oh, I mean, there's nothing un-PG about alcohol. I mean, don't drink alcohol, kids, but,
There we go. Yeah. Now we're good. Now we're fine. We've done our little bit to assist everyone.
Yeah.
In their parental endeavors.
Yeah. Just saying, I mean, with the voice, a couple of teeth missing there from the gyro. Not a good look for it, still.
I mean, low-key, I kind of want Slacks to do a revoice of just Gyrocopter.
I always thought Gyrocopter, his voice couldn't get any worse until you brought up the fact that Slacks might be able to redo it.
I mean, tell me that wouldn't be funny.
It'd be funny. Until you have to play with the damn hero over and over again.
Exactly. You only see it once every blue moon.
Huge ancient stats. Out for Adroit. Of course, MCY going to take them very happily. It's a very fast process for MCY, but bot lane booming. Poured out there from our Rubik. Does go down, of course, UU around to help on the Batrider. Now X will commit the Dream Call onto Mac. That'll be it.
Yeah, that was a weird Dream Coil. I mean, Dream Coil isn't a massive cooldown. It's obviously 70 seconds. It's going to get lower and lower as he levels it. But there was no way you're getting a kill there. It's just a little light tap. It's a bit of a tickle towards Mac as he walks off. Are they smoking here? Smoke gank? Bensoy? There we go. This is the blink reveal, by the way, on the Legion Commander.
And the axe on the gyro.
Yeah, so this is a huge timing. You want to find someone more than just the Rubik, but I believe that's all they're going to find. Unless they go towards bot lane where they might see UUU farming the lane. They might be able to find X as well. Oh, this could be a disaster.
CY running in to see UU, but they don't realize the Batrider's there. Just going to go back towards the mid lane now. You could just kind of re-smoke if you like. Boomy does now have the blink on the Tiny. So there's another reason to smoke here, and they do buy another smoke. Looks like it's time to go.
The problem is now that it's become so obvious that that's all they're trying to do. They're finding dual victories. They're pretty much going to let this happen. They're AFK farming. The Terrorblade has the Manta somewhere. I don't know. I can't see his courier on the map, but he's buying more.
Avalanche. Now Boomy is way too deep. Does go down X. Do you want to keep chasing? MCY, he showed himself, so that'll be a double Dream Call out with the lasso on the IO. CML's gone, and this Gyrocopter, he's trying to fight. There'll be a swap out from Mac, but at what cost? They'll lose the Gyro, they'll lose Mac, and Bensoy is the only man left standing. But they saw Boomy go down, and they went up the staircase. It looked like a bit of maybe miscommunication here from the side of Adroit.
They just seemed tired and slow. Their reaction just wasn't quick enough for what Team Trust were doing. It was very obvious Team Trust, once they got their kill, they were going to try to blink in, Quill, find whoever they can. Obviously they have the travel, with the travel on Batrider, so he'll try to get a pick off as well. And it leads to a, what, 4-0 plus Roshan, and they're going to try to fight the Rosh pit as well. I feel like this is too late.
Nice ages there for the side of Trust, and you know, as the game goes on, this Adroit draft, it's slowly starting to fall apart, it almost feels like. Now I realize there's so much space for this gyrocopter to grow, but you're still up against the terrible. And that's my big concern here for Adroit, is it's not like you're going to outscale this TV.
Yeah, definitely. We're going to see a replay of the fight here. It's the ants go marching in one by one. That's what it felt like to me. No one really was backing off properly. We saw there the gyrocopter on the high ground. A nice heads-up play from Team Trust to realise their capability here. To just keep pressing forward, keep killing the cores, and it paid off for them. They got a lot of net worth, they got a lot of XP, and obviously the Roshan as well.
All props to you, just quick
Top lane,
oh, there's going to be a duel. Boomy in with the avalanche toss. They do get XMP, and now the relocate in. Another huge team fight, but the dream call out from X. He's caught absolutely everyone. Boomy, CML both gone. Now another duel out from the Rubik. Give him the bonus damage. Then Soy trying to get the kill and does, but it's a 4-for-2 trade.
That fight was almost way worse. The Terrorblade went to go Sunder, the dual target. He went to go Sunder XMP to save him, but as soon as the duel ended, he just sundered a full health Legion.
Oh no.
So like, it was a wasted spell. Obviously, you didn't trade any health bars, but if he actually gets that off an XMP, XMP could have turned around with the mech, the wand, stayed alive a bit longer, and then cleaned up the team fight for them.
Oh my. Team Trust, 4K net worth lead at almost the 20-minute mark now. Adroit still just trying to find their footing in this game number 3.
Yeah. Something that I see tends to go by the wayside quite a lot. Everyone looks at the net worth, right?
Yeah.
4K, not a massive deal. XP's 10K. Like, XP starting to really go towards the favor of Team Trust.
Gets tossed off with the avalanche, but the recall in onto the TB. Shifu going to be there to protect the support of Boomy.
Radiant's middle tower.
Very, very unlucky timing for him. Shifu was already coming in, and with that, they might just focus down this bot tier 1 tower. He's got the meta up.
Yeah, they kind of have to. He's also got the Skadi. So he finished up the Skadi rather than finishing up the Manta, which is fair enough. Like, he didn't get punished for it, and it makes him so strong right now. He's hitting for 260. And that's with the Skadi slow. The health reduction obviously makes Io less of a strong backline hero. And it's very hard for them to fight right now for Adroit, especially with Tiny down. They've lost their initiation. Boomy's not going to be able to TP into this fight either. Just tier 1, tier 2 for free.
X does jump into the Dream Coil, but an immediate duel out from Ben Soy. He was alone for that Dream Coil. He was expecting TPs in and they came in, but it's just taking too long. In fact, they may lose another. He'll be able to get out in time.
Yeah, this is really sloppy. Obviously, they're going to get Mac on the bot lane. I don't know why they decided to fight with such a split team. Boomy's probably dead as well. He has the combo up, but like we said, Skadi slow does wonders.
Boomy still trying. Ben Soy going to jump in after XMP. There's the Hand of God out. Just trying to survive this LC damage. XMP, can you get out? No, definitely not. Now the Terrorblade. Boomy trying to get in range for a blink, but looks like he's given up on that. Ben Soy still trying, but really doesn't have the duel available to lock him down long enough.
Another really sloppy engagement.
Yeah.
From both teams, really. Like, we saw top lane X went in. Let's be honest, that was solo. He went to just go solo, drop them up, make sure they didn't TP bot lane or anything like that. But it just didn't work out for him. And then bot lane, the same thing happened with Mac. And then obviously they do clean up XMP as a trade, but that's still a huge win. The mid laner for the Pulse 5.
Trust still holding that net worth lead at 6K, and Adroit still on the catch-up. Mac is, rather MCY is just behind that Terrorblade in terms of net worth, now having his own BKB up and working towards the Satanic. You know, I'd hate to bring it up again, but this might be another one of those games with the Divine Rapier, Poglet.
Yep. I can't show how distraught my facial expression truly is to hear that this is yet another one of those games that probably comes down to a 50-minute Rapier purchase. And until then, it's just a cluster of dirty, sloppy fights. Which is a shame because I think that item needs a bit of a tweak. But the issue is more the fact that these teams, like, they're not taking clean enough fights to warrant not having the need for Rapier.
Yeah.
Like, I think both of these teams could clean up these team fights if they properly executed. You can see double smoke ganked right now. They're going to find absolutely no one. Both teams, really, are just going to walk into the mid lane.
Well, they're going to find each other eventually at this rate.
Oh, here we go.
High ground for this side of Team Trust. X moving in, trying to get a dream call off, but a duel is going to be out from Bensoy first. Now the call down, and they burst him down. Team Trust gonna run. Burmy on the chase, gets a nice avalanche and toss back into all of them, and now the avalanche back from the Rubik. That'll be CML gone. Bit of a misplay there with that toss. Mac will have the lasso purged off by Bensoy, but they are still on the chase. X, he wants more. Dreamcore will be out. They caught the gyrocopter. MCY gonna get tossed out of there by the Tiny, but avalanche once again from our Rubik. MCY still not out of trouble yet. He'll go for the TP play. X is also there. They have the damage with the Dagon. Bensoy, well, he's trying to get back to his base, but with that Eye of Skadi on the TB, they are going to be able to clean up another 4-man wipe on Adroit's side of things, and it all started with the toss.
Yeah, I don't know what Adroit were thinking. Like, they did everything right there at the start of the fight. They killed X, they started pushing along, but why go onto the high ground after you threw X and P up there? It's not like you didn't see the enemy heroes up there. You definitely saw Shifu was willing and able to pop that meta sitting on the high ground. And it's hard enough killing him when he's on the low ground, but you have a Metamorph on high ground, he's just going to wail into you. Obviously, they did commit the X buyback, but look at this. Like, why would you toss him up there?
I mean, it was a great avalanche up from Ching Feng, but yeah, the toss back was the wrong way, for sure. Mac, of course, had to pay for it the hard way, and so did our gyrocopter MCY. In fact, no, they didn't manage to TP up the Dagon. Was there from X.
Dagon plus the, I think the rocket might have hit him anyway, but the rocket ended up making sure they got everyone, including Bensoy and the Legion.
Alright.
Just sloppy fight things, really. There's nothing else to say about it. Like, these, I was just commenting on how sloppy and dirty these fights look, and then that minute and a half escapade towards the bounty runes. And the bounty runes weren't even there. It was just before they spawned. It's just quite hard gameplay, but we're going to see Roshan in 45 seconds as well. So this is going to be the next team fight around the Roche pit, I'm sure.
And Adroit can't really allow that Roshan to go to the way of Team Trust again. Like, it just seems too detrimental now to give that Aegis and cheese away. Especially when you're 10k behind.
Definitely, the cheese is going to be quite useful, but we're seeing how greedy Team Trust is becoming. X is maxing out his Dagon before doing anything else. I don't know how I feel about this. Like, no Yules, no Ags, no Force Staff if you wanted that, no Lincolns to stop the duel. No, Dagon.
Dream Coil is going to be whiffed. I believe they did this last time as well for X. He went Blink, got BOTs straight into the Dagon 5. And even back then, we didn't know how to feel about it. So
I think some games it can work really well, but this game is one of those situations where you get dueled, you die.
Okay. That hits T1. But the Roshan's happening right now. They don't know about it.
This is a fast Roshan as well. Like, they're not even going to be able to get back in there because Relocate obviously went off like we saw. There's nothing they can do here. It's just gone. They scanned, but it's too late.
It's too late. They're going to try and take a team fight here onto UU, but he's starting to fight himself in this Batrider. looking for a target. He already committed the lasso. It's going to be hard for him to lock anyone down, but he's just slowing them down with the sticky napalm, and X is coming in, still without the Dream Core, but now he does have it up, but he's stuck. Oh, he's stuck in a tree. And he'll be the one to continue chasing her onto Mac, but they'll swap him out of there. Now X rejoins the team fight with a 4-man Dream Call off, just the nick of time. He's trying to save his Terrorblade, who's just going to fight back. Just man fighting up against Mac. The meta's over, but he does not care. He'll get a Sunder off on to MCY, and it's going to be another wipe. It's only Boomy left. He's trying to TP. Can he make it out? No, the lift is going to be there from Qingfeng. Shifu just chases down this Tiny. That'll be a full team wipe. Going to the way of Team Trust for what feels like the 3rd time in a row.
Yeah, I mean, these fights are just getting so clean for Team Trust. Like, we saw the cheese go off there. He didn't even need to Sundo at the end of the day. And I think the Aegis is still quite safely in the hands of Puck. Yes, it is. X is being shown here. So how do you now fight? Metamorphosis went down for most of that team fight there, and you still lost. Like, all that was used was a cheese.
It's tough.
We'll have to see what they do, but Adroit right now, they're definitely on the back foot. The Puck is now richer than the Gyrocopter. And we were talking about, like, what, 5 minutes ago, MCY was keeping up with the TB, and now he can't even keep up with the Puck.
Yeah, still working towards that Satanic. Even once you have that Satanic up, like, it basically gives you a second life, but it's probably not going to do enough. He's going to need something after that, and again, I go back to that Divine Rapier. It's almost a must-have now for Team Adroit. Like, there's no real way around this.
It's Paladin Sword. He needs to find one. Just, like, go into the jungle, look everywhere, search the trees.
Search the trees.
Because right now, obviously, we're seeing the tier 3 items come out. We always make a big deal of them, but obviously Spider Legs or top lane though.
Coil, top lane, they've caught out Boomy. Bensoy jumping in for a dual attempt, but he won't be able to get it off in time, and that could mean his own death, but here comes the relocate. They've already caught off Bensoy, CMO and MCY. They do not want to bar this Terrorblade at the moment. He is just way too big. Mac swapping him backwards, but it is not going to save himself, or maybe it will with this avalanche, and the toss out from Boomy, but no, he gets a sun drop in time. Now the duel is there from Bensoy onto our Batrider. At least you get one dual victory here in this team fight. They're going to relocate and come back in. XMP going to be ignored. Trying after Qingfeng. But no, they want that TB. They'll get you to buy back. CML dying on the IO, and ultra kill already for X on the Puck. He wants that rampage, but more buybacks are here from Adroit. And Adroit, they're happily just going to get out of there. X is dropping items in front of them.
Yeah, they're feeling themselves now. I don't know if you saw that, but Terrorblade even made an illusion. He conjured image just to kill the rocket as he was running away.
Oh, that's beautiful.
All these little players, Team Trust is just doing better in all the little things. Like, as far as team fight goes, they're mostly quite even. It's just the farm is getting out of control now for Team Trust. As we can see here, there's a 6k going on 7k net worth gap between the two carries. I don't even want to look at the mid lane, but it's quite a large gap as well, 5 to 6k as well.
It's tough. So what would you recommend Adroit do now? Like, what's...
They need to smoke gank, they need to get dual victories. We saw similar yesterday with Fnatic and TNC. With KP playing that Legion Commander, they just kept finding picks to delay the game as much as they can. They did end up losing though, so Adroit, they're obviously on the back foot right now. They need to be a bit worried, but that is their way back in. Dual victories, simple as that. And you can see they're going to gather up bot. Bensoy might be able to find someone if they come to push this lane, but Team Trust are just a bit too smart right now.
That they are. Sticking as 5. Adroit just taking all the space they can get as of this current moment. Love to see the whole locket on XMP as well on that Chen. Always good to see that item actually getting some use.
I still think the item's trash, but it's viable on what, 3 heroes? Necro, Chen, and Io.
Yeah.
Currently.
Oracle? Pugna?
The problem with Oracle is, like, you need too many other items.
True.
That's the issue. Like, you need 8th lens. You need a Glimmer Cape. You usually need a Force or a Blink. and you're an Oracle, are you going to get all 4 of those items at once?
Probably not.
And then like the Holy Locket's just like a nice crisp bonus towards the end of the game.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
With bot lane, X gets his level 25 down here, by the way. So he has that massive Waning Rift AoE just to cause havoc in these team fights. And obviously he went to level 20 Talon as well. But look at the size of it!
That's a big AoE. That's...
It's not like Adroit don't actually...
Oh, Ching Feng, he caught Boomy out. Boomy was quick with the blink, and the jewel is going to be there from Ching Feng. That is 30 jewel damage now.
I mean, Rubik's never going to use any of this damage, right? He used that jewel as a stun.
Of course he's going to use that damage.
I mean, he might hit creeps, you're right.
Yeah, yeah.
He'll push waves quicker. That's... honestly, it's not that bad of an idea. He should have gone the level 15 talent that no one goes. The Fade Bolt steals heroes damage on Ruby.
Oh, top. Top. Oh, that's a big kill. Mac again. No, Ben Soy. He gets in there with the jewel. It was a bait from Mac. And they do get X. That's a big streak to give away, but here comes Yu. He won't go after Mac, but rather goes for the lasso onto the LC. Ben Soy, he work his way out of this one. He'll try for the TP play as the Blade Mail active, and he gets out of there.
1 second left on Jewel, and I'm not talking about Ben Soy's Jewel.
Uh-oh.
They could have got him if they had an extra 1 or 2 seconds on this Rubik, but unfortunately not. We won't be able to see a 60 damage Rubik.
Still, I mean, I don't think he really cares so much for the damage right now. 21k net worth lead, and the damage is... Oh, hello. I see,
Oh, here we go,
Come
here
on.
we go, here we
Unlock
go.
combining. MCY, it's about that time.
Unlock your full potential. I think he's just worried about getting caught out. Like, if he gets clowned here and dies, like, imagine if he just combined it here and died. GG out. Quickest GG out of all time.
He's holding on for now. He's,
Courier? Where are you going with a Shiva's Guard?
Dire are scanning.
So 3 minutes where we won't be seeing you
Radiant's
with your
middle
Shiva's
tower
Guard.
has been denied.
The recipe obviously on that Courier.
Radiant are scanning.
I don't know why he was delivering the recipe to himself either, because he doesn't have the Mystic Staff. So he wasn't going to finish the item anyway. Like, this is what? XP?
Nice duel out onto XMP, and with the relocate in from MCY. Nice Chen pickoff. Ben Soy just needing to catch up on that jewel damage, just finding XMP every chance he gets, and he'll take the jewel. That'll be 150 damage now.
Yeah, this is nice though, like we said, or at least I was mentioning like how they catch up. This is how they catch up. 2 duel wins in a row. Obviously X is the bigger duel victory for sure, but you just keep adding this damage, adding this damage. I mean, if he gets 10 jewels, that's Rapier. But you can't drop it. You can't drop it, MLP. It's good to go.
It's a good Rapier.
Backpacked Rapier, basically.
They smoke up. On the side of Team Trust, they're going to move their way up towards that top lane.
Oh, another jewel?
Would be there. They're trying to chase down X. Silence is out with the Dream Coil now. He's just buying as much time as possible. He has help from Ching Feng. A nice lift out of the coil, and now the jewel from the Rubik. Again. Oh, the lasso is now out onto Mac. With the orbs to fly through and Mac is surrounded, he'll try for the TP play out, and he will not make it. Yu will have the damage. But how is this Rubik able to do so much with stolen jewel?
I mean, it just shows how split Adroit are fighting right now. The fact that a Rubik is winning jewels because no one on your team can actually just 3-shot the Rubik. That's normally what happens when you steal jewels. Everyone turns around, laughs at you as your 100 damage starts like tickling whichever core you jewel. But no, they can actually get away with this. Terrorblade and obviously X on the puck are doing enough damage, and Gyrocopter, MCY is kind of just stuck farming on the other sides of the map.
I love the fact that Ching Feng is actually going for an Aghanim Scepter on the Rubik, as if he's actually going to steal any other spell right now. Like, he's just had Jewel for the past 10 minutes or so.
He needs to be careful, because if he steals Jewel, he can no longer win the Jewel.
What do you mean?
Well, once you steal the Aghanim Jewel, you get the Aghanim Scepter bonus, which is like, you only fight each other for 8 seconds. You both get BKB, and Rubik's hitting for like a modest 180, but his attack speed is like 1 per second. It's pathetic. So if he gets Ags, he suddenly can't get any more duel damage.
Well, it may not matter. They've got a top rat.
Oh, they're going to get a Tiny too.
They're going to try a duel out onto the Tiny. Do they have the damage? They do. The Dagon again is going to give Ching Feng even more damage. And well, while that's happening, Shifu is still going after the mid-racks. There's your Divine Rapier now finally being combined. He does also have a Satanic on MCY, and that's what he was waiting for, but he might lose CML. A nice swap out from Matt. He's going to save the day, but no, X wanted to keep going. Just wasn't able to quite finish off the IO, but they could just go back for a Roshan now.
Yeah, they definitely can. And MCY is actually 200 gold away from the Satanic. I think that's what he was waiting for, like you said. But he now has no buyback. Obviously, if he drops this Rapier, no buyback, the game ends. So this Roshan with the Refresher Shard is going to be absolutely crucial for them. I do want to see the Rubik get the double jewel. I think that'd be quite fun to watch.
It'd be pretty funny.
But he's getting to like closer and closer towards having more damage than Bensoy's Legion. It's the most dual damage I've ever seen on a Rubik.
It's a lot of dual damage for a Rubik. Still, they'll get started on the Roshan Adroit. They can't allow this to go down. It does have the Refresher Shard on there as well.
It's going down quick.
That Divine Rapier on MCY. X quick work of it, but X with the orb in, can jump in, gets a Dream Call off. Now the split up. It does break the coil. Still, Matt is already down. Now Bensoy, the second of all. MCY is going to fight this one out by himself. Just him and his IO, but they're ignoring him. They don't care about the Gyrocopter. They get rid of CML, and now MCY is just doomed to die. That'll be one life.
This is all without meta, by the way.
On Boomy, it is without meta. MCY, no, it's going to go after CML. They'll blow him up, and MCY has been left alone. Avalanche toss out, and they do get the Terror Blade. So they overextend here on Team Trust. X also ends up going down to MCY. That was looking real bad for a second there for Adroit, but they do make it through, and we can't exactly go and push any other lanes. MCY has to go defend the base.
Yeah, obviously they did lose a range axe in the mid lane, but those fights are very close to going towards Team Trust. Obviously, we talked about the no meta, not getting the proper targets with the Bat Rider, as well as the Puck. But it just shows MCY, I don't think, even with his Rapier, I don't know if he's going to out DPS the Daedalus Satanic Terrorblade, who, guess what? He's queuing up one himself.
Perfect. Fight Divines with Divines, sir.
These items need to go. You can't just be buying Rapiers on every carry. I think it needs to be a really niche thing that's like that last resort. But this is like, nah, stuff. Let's just everyone buy one.
Yeah. I like it. It's adds that nice element to the game, you know? That element of fear.
Oh yeah, the supports are just like shivering in their boots. You walk around, you're like, yes, he hits for 700 and I have 1100 health. I wonder what comes next might surprise you.
MCY gonna go mid lane. Start on that tier 2 tower, and it takes it very, very quick. He may try to go high ground, but they are respawning soon, so they'll back off. You haven't really got many other objectives to play apart from that top tier 2 and the bot tier 2. So Adroit, they might just have to sit back and farm a bit longer.
Yeah, the only problem is going to be how far, how
there
long.
It is. There it is. 2 Divine Rapiers.
Oh boy, is it going to be a 2-for-1 special? Terrorblade go by your.
There
no,
it is.
Akiri just went to the entire enemy team. Oh boy.
All right, 3 Divines in this game.
So remember that stat? They're like 10 Divine Rapiers have been purchased. We're like, oh yeah, that sounds decent. No, it's 13 now. 3 in one game and counting. The game's not over yet.
Love to see it.
Oh.
This is why I love SCA Dota. You know, they don't care. They'll go for the riskiest item choices possible.
Yeah, it's fun to watch. I gotta be honest though, like this makes me nervous. If I was playing this kind of game, I'd be like, guys, can we just end the game before it gets to this ridiculous point?
Well, let's see who wins this one out. Double Divine versus Solo Divine. Shifu, that tier 3 tower, not gonna last long, but Boomy, he gets a toss in, and they burst him. There's the duel out, but the lift is there on the Gyrocopter. They didn't have the damage, and now the lasso out. CML's gone without buyback. Oh, they still surround the TV. They do end up killing off Shifu, and now Yu out of there. Where's the Divine?
is under
X.
attack.
Still trying to fight. Did he get it on the puck?
No, they've got it on Mac. They've got it on Mac.
Okay.
Mac's hitting for a casual 600 as well.
Nice.
So Mac needs to turn around and be like, nah, I'm a core now. None of this aura spam items. No, I want actual on-hit effects.
Okay.
Oh boy.
So
That net worth lead though.
yeah, I mean, it went down far. What did they peak at? Was it 30?
I think it was they were getting towards 25, 26k, and obviously you can see now it's going to drop even further. It's at 6k now, probably 4k area once Terabyte spawns, but
They got a Dream Call off on Boomy.
it's an Ag's coil too. No, it's not.
Dagon. Not going to be enough. Boomy still running. X on the chase with the orb. Mac is around the corner with a Divine Rapier. X needs to run. Does.
Oh boy. What a series though. Like, you can't ask for much more between these two teams when this is the culmination of the triple rapier fight. He gets the dual damage, and then you can see he turns around and he's like, I don't know who to hit yet, I don't know who to hit, and just panics. Starts hitting them all, doesn't get the Sunder off here, and he does go down for it.
I thought Adroit would just doom that team fight because they got the lift off on the gyrocopter during that dual duration, but
I mean, it is quite hard. He has a Witless Shaco on the gyrocopter, so he has 4,000 health despite the fact that 2 of his slots are covered with rapiers. Oh my god. It is sad to see that. Like, we were talking about Mac got the rapier. That's 6,000 gold for free, right?
Yeah.
He's still behind the Terrorblade in the park. And he literally got given 6,000 gold.
you know, it happens. It happens.
It's just so, he was so poor.
He was.
Like, his net worth now looks passable as a mid laner.
So have Team Trust, you know, I realized there was 2 Divines already on Adroit before that last team fight happened. But now, by giving them a 3rd Divine, have they thrown this game?
The problem is, Adroit still will struggle to high ground. That's their biggest problem right now. Like, Puck obviously has an off-green core. He's going to go towards his Ags finally, and he has a Spell Prism. I can just see the Terrorblade getting that item now.
Silence.
So without these Beaker Beasts, it's actually very hard to fight. So even you have double Rapier, you've got obviously one again on Mac. The game's not done from here. And they could still throw these Rapiers on the ground. And hell, Shifu could just buy another one.
He could.
The madman.
I imagine that's what he's trying to do right now on that Terrorblade. Just get another Divine Rapier going for yourself.
Yeah, all I'm hearing in the back of my head is just that Star Wars meme, just like, more, and it's just him just throwing rapiers on the floor over and over again. It's like it's make it rain. I mean, what else is happening? IO, I thought he'd be able to build items this game, but
CML's had a very tough time. Like, they keep focusing down every start of the fight. He's died 8 times. Considering the circumstances, I'm surprised he's only died 8 times. It's been
yeah, I actually think that's a victory for him.
Yeah.
To tell you the truth, like usually, as a uber underfarmed IO, you're a glass cannon, or not even a cannon. You're just a piece of glass.
Yeah.
Sorry, just a bit of sound check there. But we are, yeah, he's just IO just usually dies too quickly, but they've done. Oh, he just relocated by himself. He relocated to farm, and I don't know if he can kill the creeps.
Get there, CM. You'll get there soon, CML. Come on, make it before you TP back. No.
Ooh, I mean, lucky he TP'd back, because another couple of seconds, I think that Dagon can kill him. We're going to see a gather up on the mid lane, though. Maybe Bensoy finds another duel victory.
Could possibly do so.
Just by the way, he didn't go the dual damage,
Radiant's
level
bottom
25.
tower is
He's
under
actually
attack.
playing smart Dota.
Yep.
With the AoE press the attack.
It's valid.
I'm mildly disappointed.
Yeah.
Because if we're going to get a Clowny game, I want it all in. I want to see
Radiant's bottom
like
tower
rapiers
has
left, right, and center. I want to see every damage talent taken. None of this defensive, actually good for the game garbage. Get that out.
Yeah.
60 dual damage per win. I need it.
I mean, in 5 levels, he's going to have that.
That 5 levels is 25 minutes away.
I mean, it's,
X.
you're probably going to get that much time out of this game, judging by how it's going. Yes, maybe caught out. Go for the orb back. MCY. Who just bought another Divine Rapier?
Oh, it's another one on Shifu.
4 Divine Rapiers.
Can we get 5? Can we just, like, 50% increase on the Rapiers this one game?
I want 100%.
We're not getting 10 Rapiers, MLP. Who's carrying them? Who's carrying these Rapiers?
I reckon we can fit them in.
Boomy, go get Axe, go get 2 Rapiers. Do it. He's dropping. Okay, he can just get rid of his Axe. That's an Axe synth. There's one there.
Yep.
All right, who else we got? I mean, IO can get the auto attack ally on allied auto attacks. That's 5 there.
just more. We need more. It's not enough yet.
I mean, to tell you the truth, I wouldn't be surprised if he Axe synth and actually goes a 3rd Rapier.
He should. What other item is gonna help him out this game?
I believe a Daedalus would do more damage than a 3rd Rapier.
You're probably right, but that'd be sensible.
Yeah, true. Actually, stuff that. No. I was the one championing the no sensibility here. Triple Rapier. I need to see an MCY if he can hear me. And I hope he can't, because then we have a few other problems other than the Triple Rapier.
That is true. Roshan is going to be up. Both teams are just going to huddle around that Roshan pit.
It is the Axe Roche. So this one...
It's got everything.
I don't know how many people want the Axe Sim in the team.
Hey, I mean, you can give it to the puck on the side of Trust.
Terrorblade's Fear would be pretty fun.
Could be. That Roshan is going very, very quick, by the way. Someone from Adroit needs to realize it's happening, and they don't. So the Roshan is going to go the way of Team Trust for free. That is a bit of a blunder here from Adroit to not realize it's happening.
The Accent does go onto the Bat Rider, by the way. So we're going to have that double lasso for you.
Why not?
I kind of wanted to see the Fear. But the double lasso does make a lot of sense.
Still smoked up.
MCY shows himself into the middle of the lane. He has the Accent queued, by the way, MLP.
I love it.
We're only one step away from your dream.
There's another Aghanim Scepter now. We've got one on the puck.
Actually?
They're going to run into each other. MCY. A lot of damage onto UU, but now the meta has been popped by Shinku. He's just trying to fight up against MCY, but the Satanics, they're just man-fighting each other. They will wear off, however. Now this Terrorblade needs to get out, but a 5-man Dream Coil, or rather 4. He's going to get one life. Now, our puck, X, falling very, very low. He's in massive, massive trouble. They got the Terrorblade a second time. And X is also down.
Oh, it's triple rapier for MCY.
There
oh
are 3
my
rapiers
god.
and a double damage, by the way, for this gyrocopter.
I mean, to be honest, the double damage only gives him 150. The rapiers are giving him 990 damage.
But let's be honest, we need more. This is not enough. As far as I'm concerned, Poglet, there is still space for more Divine Rapiers on MCY. But he's queued up a Heart of Tarask. That's interesting.
I don't know where he's going to put it. Like, maybe he hits the BKB, switches out the BKB for Heart. But by then, I guess that's it. I don't know, man. At this point, he probably should be holding a buyback. Like, 3 rapiers on the floor, not all of them can go to Terrorblade, so some of these supports are going to pick up rapiers, and that's just cannon fodder. That's just the rapier return policy, really.
They're onto the mid racks. MCY just literally 2-shot the racks, and it's down to half HP. Max disconnected from the game. I mean, he's just...
He can't handle it. There's too many rapiers.
There are too many. There's too much damage on the map right now, and what's going to be really interesting is how Team Trust deal with it this game, because it's... I mean, you've got 4 on one side, you've got 0 on the other side.
I think they're going to handle it by losing, to tell you the truth. Am I going to be insane here, but why doesn't Gyrocopter have more damage? Like, if each rapier is plus 330,
yeah.
Why is... Oh, it's my screen's bugged.
Yeah.
Mine's saying 700, yours says 1100. Okay.
Yeah, it does bug out.
Oh, great. I'll just disconnect while the players are doing it. No one will ever know.
We do have a wait anyway. You've got plenty of time to reconnect, but I mean, things are looking great from Adroit. They're on the comeback. This is the 3rd game. Obviously, both teams need to kind of win this game to keep themselves in the running to make it through to the playoffs.
The problem I'm finding with this game so far is how sloppy it is. Both of these teams still have Motivate Trust to go. Like, that's the team they actually have to get through to make this top 4. So, Adroit are obviously in the driver's seat right now. Is the way Adroit playing enough to actually take down Motivate Trust? A team that took down TNC, looked strong against Fnatic. Like, is this going to be enough to take down a team that's really firing on all cylinders? And I don't know if it is. Like, Adroit need to look back here and really think about what they're doing.
I mean, don't listen to him, Adroit. You're doing a fantastic job. I love the way you're playing this. Everything's going very, very well.
Yeah, I got to be honest, they're fun. They're fun to watch. Like, I was a bit worried that these two teams were, it was either going to be stopped one side or the other. But we've gotten, what, a 50-minute game, game 1. Game 2 was, what, mid-30s. And then game 3 is looking like a 55, 60-minute game, depending on the fight that's about to happen.
Yeah.
But either way, like, we've had fun. We've been laughing about it. There's 4 rapiers in the game. Who knows? This is going to be a 5th if the game keeps going. And we're going to see some replays here. Look at just the whack Dota that's coming out between these two carries. They just don't care.
And the man up against each other. But this is that moment when you did lose your Terrorblade. Rapier was on the deck. MCY made some more space. Got rid of the Aghanim Scepter.
He's since obviously bought an Aghanim Synth, as we can see in the game on the other side. Oh, man. I'm now all in with you. I want to see another Rapier on MCY.
Let's get one more going. Do you really need the S&Y here?
Do you need a BKB?
Nah.
I don't think so. I reckon you can carry that item. I don't think you need it. It's only 5 seconds of magic immunity. I reckon that's not enough.
Nah.
With the SMY, that gives you lifesteal amp. Satanic gives you lifesteal.
Yeah.
BKB, what's that really doing for you?
It's not doing much.
Oh man. This is one of those, like, that build is what you see in a turbo game, or B, one of those games where you're just like, I'm just gonna go demo bots, practice, see how like clowny I can make a build. This is not what you see in normal competitive Dota. Oh, it's good to see. But we should probably talk about some of the other heroes.
Oh, I guess we could take a chance. How is this Terrorblade going to fight back now? You tell me that, because he's got no buyback.
He's got no buyout, but luckily for him, because he dropped his money on the ground, his buyback's quite cheap. So if they don't lose the base, and obviously they've got a tier 2 on the top lane, so they can't lose all 3 Raxes. They have a Fortify to slow it down. They do have all the tools to make sure this game keeps going. All he has to do is farm up and just go buy another one.
I love the fact that you said there's a tier 2 up at the top lane, as if they're
as if MCY is not going to 3-shot it.
Yeah, they're going to go for tier 4s anyway, I'm sure, Adroit.
We're PMA here. We're positive mental attitude. We want to see... I mean, we're here now. We've committed to this best of 3 series. We do have another one, by the way.
Yeah.
For everyone at home, we still have another series after this one.
Straight after this one. Geekbam versing the side of T1.
Yeah, and you best believe when we say straight after. Like, we're not doing a half-an-hour break. We're jumping into it.
Well, that's if your mate Fluke, just keeps it short. I know he likes to drag on with the talk sometimes, but good old Flukey.
Yeah, I mean, we have time for a player's interview, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
That might be tentative there. Because I do want to hear from the Adroit or Team Trust boys, either or. Because right now, I have so many questions. And I'm sure the panelists have so many questions about this series. And where they view themselves coming into the final few days of this group stage.
I think the interview's got to go to MCY, surely. I mean, if it was Adroit that did pull off the victory.
You're writing off Team Trust there, man.
I'm not writing off anyone, sir. Team Trust. They still have a chance. It's just hard to see how you fight here without the buyback. And without the rapiers.
Yeah, I've no idea. I mean, Dota Plus is telling me something else. Dota Plus somehow thinks Radiant has a higher chance of winning.
Oh, Dota
Is this
Plus.
another bug? Am I going